Hello and welcome to another episode of Tom's Gaming World. Thanks for joining us. So, we've had Christmas and yeah, I've been lucky this Christmas. I've got a few lovely gifts. I actually bought a gift for myself, which is gaming related. So, without further ado, that was quite a quick camera move anyway. There it is. So I've got myself a PlayStation VR, and you can also see I got a stand for it. That's, yeah, I'd recommend this stand. It's made by Venom. I think that's the company who's done it, and it's pretty cool. That's just the cloth there you get with the VR headset, which is a nice, robust but lightweight thing from Sony. You've probably seen one of these before, but it fits comfortably on your head. The on button's there. You've got volume control there. You've got little headphones. So the unit itself, very cool. And then what surprised me mostly was the amount of cables involved with this thing. Okay, so this is what they call, excuse the dust, the processor. Now the processor connects to the VR headset using this wire here. So you're always wired in, but it's a nice long wire. So move a bit closer here, we can see that HDMI is connected, I think, to the TV. Then you've got HDMI connecting the PlayStation to the processor. Then you've got the power, and if that wasn't enough cables, you've also got a USB connecting to the PlayStation. So yeah, that is a heck of a lot of cables, and it's good that the VR itself comes with a nice big quick start guide, and it is relatively straightforward to set the whole thing up. It's just I wasn't expecting so many wires with this thing. I didn't even know it had the processor box. I didn't do my research, and also I didn't do my research because if I had, I would have known that I'm susceptible to a bit of motion sickness. So I'll show you the games I've got. Here's a folder I've made with some VR stuff in. Astrobot Rescue Mission is a great platformer that came with the VR. PlayStation VR Worlds came with the VR. That's pretty cool, and that was the first game I played actually. I did the deep sea diving aspect of that game, and no problems there. Creed is a boxing game, of course. Boxing works pretty well in VR, I'd say. Rush of Blood is a horror themed shooter which is on the rails, which is pretty scary. And VR Playroom is something I haven't actually investigated yet. And over here is a stack of games I'm playing recently, a few of them VR. I tried Resident Evil 7 in VR, and Dirt Rally in VR, and Tetris Effect there is fantastic in VR. Out of all those games, which ones can I play without feeling sick? So basically any of the games where you're moving within a 3D space, looking around, maybe if you're being pushed in one direction and you're moving in another direction at the same time, that sort of thing, that really makes me feel sick. And I have experiences with the VR so far where I've had to get the thing off my head as quickly as possible because I'm really not starting to feel well. Games which I haven't had that problem with, Rush of Blood, because it's on rails and there's not so much swinging your head around. Sometimes when the track gets a bit bumpy it makes me feel a bit queasy, but otherwise that's okay. Creed, I could do one fight. I think one fight is my maximum, one fight at a time on that. Apparently it's quite a short game, so if I'm only playing one fight at a time, that should be quite easy to deal with. VR Worlds, yes, some of the games are fine and the experience like ones where you're not moving around, but there was one where I was an alien controlling a spaceship, and that was the first one I tried that really made me feel sick. And unfortunately, Astrobot Rescue Mission, great game, really appreciate what they're trying to do with that, beautiful thing. I could not play it for very long until again I started to feel sick, because I was turning my head to control the robot, and then I was also being pushed forward at the same time, and that just did not agree with me. So yeah, it's a shame that I can't play all of these games for a very long time. Tetris Effect, however, as you can see there, that is amazing in VR, and it's just a great experience and doesn't make me feel sick in the slightest. And neither's Rez, actually. Rez is a fantastic shooter game from the same people who brought you Tetris Effect, actually. Rez was originally released on the Dreamcast and subsequently the PS2 as well. Rez Infinite. Also there next to it on the right is Thumper, which is also a music themed game which is in VR, which I haven't tried yet. I've tried it outside of VR and it's very good, but I'd love to try that in VR. But yeah, Rez Infinite, really good. Recommend that as a VR experience if you're looking for more VR games. Things like Rock Band I think will be great in VR. There's a lot of potential for it, and I actually think the effect is extremely good and really works very well. Yeah, hopefully I'm going to build up a tolerance to it, so in the future I can maybe play some of these VR games for a bit longer. So yeah, quite a lot of PS4 this Christmas, but not just PS4, also Switch. Playing a few Switch things using these great 8-bit Do controllers. So I've harped on about these in every video that I've done in this series so far. Now I have two. So I think as secondary controllers for the Switch, these 8-bit Do controllers are absolutely fantastic. They're a lot cheaper than the Pro controllers, and they also have the lovely D-pad setup here, which is great for playing fighting games. Speaking of fighting games, you may see a new addition here. Yes, this game I was playing on Xbox One not long ago, I now have on the Switch, and that's Dragon Ball Z Fighter Z. Looks really nice on the Switch. I see by that I got Thunder Force 4. Haha, obviously if you've seen the previous video, it's quite funny because I purchased the Mega Drive version of Thunder Force 4, which isn't cheap, before realising it was downloadable. I got that version with some points I had on my Nintendo account for about £2 something, so maybe I could have saved myself the Mega Drive version. Oh well, that's how things go. So Dragon Ball Fighter Z running on the Switch, and so far you're not going to see any particular differences between this and the Xbox One version, and actually when you get into the game you'll like to see differences also. In fact, I think this game actually has faster loading times than the Xbox One version. It's perfectly playable on the Switch. There's no massive downgrade. Obviously you think with less powerful hardware the game's going to look particularly different, but I think the kind of game that Fighter Z is, it doesn't necessarily need the most powerful hardware to run correctly. I'm going to zip over here to the arcade area where we can just jump into some gameplay. And of course, having one of these controllers, the 8-bit Do gamepad, fantastic D-pad there for fighting games. So of course I haven't got all the characters on this version of the game like I have on the Xbox One version. I don't think I'm going to go all out and get those extra characters. The game is in English as well. I'm just playing in Japanese at the moment. It's nice, it's got a robust arcade mode as well. You can see there quite a lot of fights. But really what I want to show you is just jumping into the game, the load times and the quality of the visuals. I think that's quicker. I don't know about you, but it feels quicker at least. So maybe that's just me wanting to think this version's quicker than the other one, but so as you can see, the game runs very well. As good as you would expect it to. So playing it with these controllers as well is just, I think, perhaps the the best experience you could probably have with the game. Wish I aimed my Kamehameha's right. Anyway, that's Dragon Ball FighterZ. Next up, Xbox One. So what's new on the Xbox One, you may wonder? Well, so what have we got on Xbox then? Well, we've got Star Wars Battlefront 2, which was a Christmas gift from my good friend Adam for Christmas, so thank you Adam for that one. Played a little bit of this so far, really excited to get stuck into that story mode on the game. The multiplayer is too hard for me, too many people too good at it, I die straight away. Yeah, if this didn't have a story mode, I don't know how interested I'd be in it, because I kind of got the same experience with Battlefront 1. Down there you can see Celeste, which was actually free. It's a game I've been thinking about picking up for some time. Celeste is a really wonderful game actually, made by the developers of Towerfall, and I was really looking forward to playing this and thinking, oh dear, I don't want to spend the money because it's quite an expensive game, and you know, Christmas is an expensive time of the year, but to find it was free as a part, I think, of Xbox Live Gold membership, that was a welcome surprise. So I didn't actually realise the concept of Celeste. It's actually, you're climbing a mountain, and it's similar to games like Towerfall, which you can see immediately, but also probably more something like Super Meat Boy, in the fact you could sort of hang off walls, but then you can dash. I'm in a little bit of a tricky place here where I'm, there you go, so you can do this dash thing. And I've got to get over there. How am I going to do that? Well, it's got to be the dash. You're going to die a lot. That's also why I make the Meat Boy comparison. But it's all about just trial and error. And skill, of course. You'll get better at the game as you play it. But this is that's a particularly difficult section. It's not an easy game. If you're wondering how easy it is, it's very easy to pick up and play, but it's also a very challenging platform game with a wonderful soundtrack actually. So I'm hoping now, yeah, you can only hang on for so many seconds, so that's the basic concept of Celeste. And then each game is like a separate platform puzzle in a way, because the game saves after every screen. So it's a really nice game to pick up and play. It'd be perfect fit for the Switch actually, I'd say. It's not free on the Switch though, so hence why I'm playing it on the Xbox One. So another game that I've been playing recently has been Cuphead, which was on sale Christmas time. And it's a game I've been wanting to pick up ever since the game got released, but I was always reluctant to buy it because it was so expensive. Now it came down a few pounds, I was like, alright, now it's about the right time to play Cuphead. And yeah, I really like it. It's a challenging game again, but once you get in the rhythm of it, let's turn it down a little bit there. Once you get in the rhythm of it, it feels instinctive. So for those who haven't played Cuphead, it's a run and gun shooter in a way. Well, I think. Oh, you got to be careful because you don't have a lot of chances. Yeah, as you can see. Then you can see how far you got on in the boss battle, so that's always good. That always keeps you going. It's always that one more try kind of mentality. So lastly but not least, we're going to talk a little bit about Super Nintendo, a new game I picked up for that system too. You can see it on the screen there. Can you guess what it is? Well, maybe if you get a closer look at the cartridge, you can see that it's Super Bomberman 2 running on the fantastic Super Retron HD with a 8-bit 2 wireless gamepad. So again, the game looks fantastic on the Super Retron HD, and as well as having the usual multiplayer modes, it also has a story mode, which is rather nice actually. You've got 3 separate castles, a little bit like Mega Man I guess, with 3 or 4 separate bosses. I haven't played a lot of it yet, but obviously for anyone familiar with Bomberman, you can see the usual Bomberman gameplay going on here. We're going to attempt to trap that guy in there. Oh! And hopefully, there you go. So the idea of these levels is to just clear all the enemies out of there. Beautiful, colourful visual. This is a nice easy stage to get started with. And then you have to go and flick the switch over here. I say flick it, you have to use a bomb on it. There you go. So, and that opens up the next stage. So pretty much that's your single player mode on Super Bomberman 2. And that's about it for this episode of Tom's Gaming World. Thanks very much for taking the time to check out the video. Really do appreciate it. If you like it, you can subscribe to the channel. And yeah, there'll be more content hopefully coming soon. It may slow down a bit because work's starting again soon. So I can't guarantee there'll be many more Tom's Gaming World videos in the next few weeks. But we're going to try and keep up Tom Plays. So do keep them back to the channel because we always have Bruno's boxes every Monday. So there's always some sort of content to enjoy. Plus plenty of podcasts, Tom Matt Attack, on their way as well, which you can check out at blastprocess.com. So thanks very much for watching the video. Until see you again, game on.